Yeah.
And actually, you get a bit of help.
Your husband does all of yours, I know, because she's very, very lazy. Very, very
That's what
lazy.
he says, actually. No, we've got a fairly modern setup, I'd say, yeah.
New research suggests it's still women who are doing the majority of the cooking, cleaning and looking after children. Really? The Office for National Statistics found that women do an average of 60% more housework than their male counterparts.
On average, men clock up 16 hours a week of what the study calls unpaid work, which includes childcare, laundry and cleaning.
Yeah, contrast that to women who do an average of 26 hours of housework every week. Quite a mismatch, says the female producer who wrote that. Let's talk to the feminist and comedian Kate Smurthwaite, who's here. This is a disgrace. Men, you know, should be not doing things around the house in the same way. Surely it's not their role.
I was waiting to see what disgrace you were going to say. I think this is one of those stories that we don't talk about enough, actually. We talk so much, don't we, as women, about, look, women can be politicians, women can be doctors, women can run businesses, women can do this. And we forget that that's a great idea. But it's not that before we could be doctors, we were all just sat around, you know, sunning ourselves, doing nothing. Women have been very busy since the dawn of time. And if women are going to achieve all these wonderful things that we want to achieve, we actually can't do all that and then still go home and mop up the baby puke and do all the laundry and do all the cooking. We can't, you know, and it's interesting, I was at a conference recently for like important women, goodness knows why I was there, but somebody said to me, oh, you do so much, how do you do it? And I said, well, I'm very lucky, my other half, you know, does a lot around the house, really sorts things out. And every woman sat around the table, the QCs, they all went, oh, yeah, I'm very lucky, my partner does the same, or I'm very lucky. And all these women who'd achieved so much, it had all come out of them feeling, oh, very privileged and lucky to be in a relationship that was equal. And actually, you shouldn't be privileged.
So this survey's nonsense then?
No. What I'm saying is women who've achieved all of this much have often done so because they've got good support at home. Without that good support, you can't. Lots of women not at this conference, too busy having to clean up the mess that their partners and children have left all strewn around the house.
Isn't this a generational thing? I mean, you know, no disrespect to my very hard-working father who's worked hard all his life. He doesn't do housework, never has done, and my mum is partly to blame for that because she's never asked him to do. I sit at home and I'm like, come on, mum, why are you doing everything? Get dad to get involved. But she, you know, well, she's had a career as well.
The question of what to do about it is really interesting, and it's totally pertinent because Feminist Times has just relaunched today, and I've got a regular column. And my first thing I wanted to write about, first episode, must write about housework because I think it's much bigger than we recognise. And the issue of what to do about it, I mean, there's a few things. Firstly, there's an issue that you learn from your parents, and you sort of assume that what they do is normal. You know, your mum teaches you how to put on mascara, and then she shows you how to organise a schedule for the laundry, and somehow it just becomes your job. And maybe you've got a male partner who doesn't really know how to do it and isn't that organised. But I also think that there is definitely a thing of slightly different standards. That if you're the one who's a little bit more house proud, and perhaps you would be as a woman because you're the one who gets the blame if it's a mess. I think we spend all our time telling women to lean in the office. I think maybe at home, lean out.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
What about the idea, if women are doing so much more at home, is it maybe they're not working the same hours? Maybe is that built into this survey?
Oh, but you see...
If it's classed as unpaid work, then surely
totally, but it's like a chicken and egg thing.
It's
It's like a chicken and egg thing, isn't it? We know that women are less likely to be well paid. We know women are less likely to get promoted. And so when you are the person who makes less money and
trying to juggle everything,
yeah, and has a less important job, then when it's time for, somebody is going to have to, you know, take time off to raise the kids or take time off to look after a relative who's ill or something, well, the person with the less responsible job and less salary, it's an obvious choice because you're just two human beings trying to make the best of a very complicated world. So it's a total chicken and egg thing. Until women are taken more seriously, they're always going to get landed with the extra chores at home and vice versa. And until they get the time off from the chores at home, how are they going to get taken more seriously at work?
Which makes a lot of sense.
I could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Or you could get home and get the marigolds on and get started.
He does love a marigold, don't you?
I do all my own housework.
Brilliant. Come round and do mine.
Thank you very much indeed. Or most of it, anyway. Some of it at least. Kate, thank you.
Did
Good
one
to
once.
see you.
It happened once, definitely.
I've done it on occasion. We've got lots more still to come on Sunrise. Stay with us.